But we're talking about Saul here. Okay? He still finds a way to mess it up. And of course, this is going to be the beginning of a series of, what are you thinking?
How are we to think about Saul and the school of the prophets, and Saul prophesying and people being surprised by that? And is that in part qualifying him as, as you note in Unseen Realm, the qualification of the prophet?
Well, the tension there depends on what kind of a spiritual mess was Saul at the beginning. Is he just cowardly? Is he just a little chicken-hearted? Is he apostate? I mean, what is he? And I don't know that we can really answer that question, initially at that point in Saul's life. The patterning actually does, it still works for Saul. I want to see if maybe you can tell me. I'm trying to remember if Saul was specifically anointed, because the question actually is worth bringing up here. Let me go to ESV here. Yep, so it's 1 Samuel 10. So he gets anointed. There was typically a 3-step process for kingship. Anointing was part of the first step. You would designate someone. And then they would have to do something. We actually did a podcast episode on this about how Old Testament kingship patterns relate to Jesus. So there was first some kind of appointment event, usually anointing but not always, that designated someone as, you're the candidate for the king. And then the second step was, okay, now we expect you to do something kingly. Like, let's go see you do something now. And oftentimes, the Spirit of God would be the enabling agent to do that kingly thing. And this is what's going on with Saul. But Saul still manages to mess it up. Let's see if I can remember the exact passage here. It's kind of interesting. Okay, yeah, First Samuel 10. Okay. So we get this is the passage, again, where we have this, we have the anointing, we're going to get the prophesying and all this stuff. Now look at what Samuel tells him. So he anoints him. Samuel took a flask of oil and poured it on his head and kissed him and said, "Has not the Lord anointed you to be prince over his people Israel? You shall reign over the people of the Lord, and you will save them from the hand of their surrounding enemies." Okay, who's the enemy at the time? This is Saul. The big enemy is Philistines, okay? So you're going to deliver your people from the hand of the enemies. And he gives them a little details. You're going to go up from there farther, come back to the oak of Tabor. 3 men going up to God at Bethel will meet you there. 1 carrying 3 goats, another carrying 3 loaves of bread, another carrying a skin of wine. They'll greet you and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you shall accept from their hand. After that, you shall come to Gibeath Elohim. So he's given him a series of signs, that God's in this. After that, you'll come up to Gibeath Elohim, where there's a garrison of the Philistines. Okay, so now we have 2 clues. You're anointed now. You're going to deliver your people from their enemies. And as you're on your way, you're going to run into some Philistines. Okay? Then he says, there's a garrison of the Philistines there, and there, as soon as you come to the city, you will meet a group of prophets coming down from the high place with harp, tambourine, flute, and lyre before them prophesying. Then the Spirit of the Lord will rush upon you, and you will prophesy with them and be turned into another man. So again, this is part of the same series of God is with you. Now, when these signs meet you, here's the cryptic phrase, do what your hand finds to do. Okay, so you deliver your people from their enemies. You're going to go to this place, and there's a garrison of the Philistines there. The Spirit of God is going to come upon you. And when all this stuff happens that I've just listed out for you, do what your hand finds to do. Now, there are a number of scholars that think that what Samuel is getting at, and he's not telegraphing it completely because he wants to see what Saul's going to do, is you go out and you kick some Philistine butt, and we're going to know that the Lord is with you and you're the king. Is this what he does? No. He goes off and, again, we have the episode with the prophesying. He goes and he gets somebody else. He attacks some other location. I'm trying to find it here. Oh, the Ammonites down in chapter 11. He leaves the Philistines go. And he goes and picks on the Ammonites. Like, do we ever see the Ammonites again? Like, why are they even in the picture? Again, we don't know. Did Saul take the easy path? Did he actually disobey Samuel? Could he not read between the lines? Those are all good questions. So when it comes to your question about the anointing, I think, this legitimized Saul's position. It was God's way of saying, I am with you. But we're talking about Saul here. Okay? He still finds a way to mess it up. And of course, this is going to be the beginning of a series of what are you thinking episodes in Saul's life. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really invalidate the fact that God would have. Had he turned around and said, hey, the Philistine garrison over there, that's toast. I think you can read 1 Samuel 10 and think, this is what Samuel wants to see. He sees something. I mean, Saul does something meaningful, but he misses the point. He misses the mark. And this is going to be sort of his track record. He thinks he's doing the Lord's will when he's doing something else, until finally Samuel has just had it, like with Agag and the Amalekites and all that kind of stuff. It's a pattern that shows up in Saul's life, but I don't think it delegitimizes the fact that God would have been with him. I mean, Samuel's telegraphing all this stuff to him. So